Hi Ian, Dan here from the Purple Academy. Just been looking at your swing and going to do some analysis of your swing now. And I've got in front of me here a swing of yours from, I think it was 2007 if I'm not mistaken, and this is a really good swing. I really like this swing and I've enjoyed looking at it. Lovely balance in this swing, lovely posture and use of the ground. And a lot of things in this swing that I really like, and actually a few of the things in this swing put me in mind of someone, so I'm just going to bring in a clip here of Mr. Woods from back in 2007 actually, I think this was, so his heyday and maybe yours as well actually in looking at your swing here. So I just pick out a couple of things in your address position here that are similar. I really like the leg flex you've got in here. That really helps you get nice and grounded. If you look at Tiger, similar amount of leg flex, and you can see his hips are way out behind him, his backside's out behind his heels there. That's a really good way of getting yourself grounded, nice low centre of gravity, and using those legs as a source of power through the swing. The big difference in this setup position is I know he's using an iron here and you've got the driver, but if you look at the spine angle and particularly the top of the shoulders here, you've got a very straight back, whereas Tiger's got this nice curve to the top of his back here and he's got his chin down looking at the ball. That really helps to get his chest down on top of the ball, a lower centre of gravity, and that allows him to turn a little bit differently to you, and ensure that he's going to fire his body weight right into the ball. So it's just one thing there that I would look at with you, is just trying to get that spine tilted over a little bit more. The chest, the tops of the shoulders a little bit more sort of rounded looking at the ball, and you'll achieve that by getting your chin down a little bit more on your chest. It might be different to things you've read and heard in the past. Sometimes you hear people saying keep your chin up so you can allow your shoulders to turn. Well, that's not something that I really believe in. I don't really understand that logic. Your shoulders aren't turning on a level plane, so you wouldn't need your shoulder to go under the chin. If you imagine you've got your spine angle, I'll just draw this line. If you've got a spine angle like that, you'd want your shoulders to turn on that kind of angle. Therefore, there's plenty of room for them to turn underneath your chin. So, for me, much rather see you looking like Tiger's back does here in his address position, with his chin nicely down, so you really focus in on that ball, nice low centre of gravity, and use the ground really well during the swing. Anyhow, the purpose of this was to focus on the similarities actually between the two of you here. So yeah, address that leg flex, very similar there. And then his first move here, very similar in terms of the fact that you stay lovely and centred on the ball there. Your head doesn't go up at all in that first move, which is similar to Tiger. I really like that. And you get that chest turning nicely off the ball, so the arms are swinging back around the body. Slightly different camera angle here, so you don't get quite the same perspective in terms of where the club is, but you get that sense that you're staying down on the ball, which I really like. And if we take it up to the top of the swing here, similarly, slightly different arm position, but in terms of your head there, you've sort of gone down a little bit there, which means you're using the ground more, and that would be similar to Tiger here, who's also gone down in his backswing, which again allows him to really use the ground. He'll be very heavy on his feet at this point. His legs will be ready to fire in the downswing, and gaining height is not something you want to look for in your swing. What you do here, staying nicely centred, nicely grounded in your backswing, is a really nice look. And then coming into this downswing, very similar actually, very similar look there. I love the way the arms are in front of the body, and I really like the right foot here, nice and flat on the ground and rolling towards the target. That's exactly the kind of look you want to have in your leg action and downswing. Tiger here, very similar. His right foot is flat on the ground, but just starting to roll here towards the target in this direction. So often what you see at this point in the downswing is the right heel way off the ground and the right knee shooting out towards the ball and to the right of the target. That's not the look you want, because that means your legs are firing at the ball, and that means your arms are going to have to roll round your legs to get onto the ball at impact. What you've got here with your right leg firing down the target line is exactly what you want to see in your downswing. So that's excellent. Obviously the one thing that you will notice that's different is your spine angle again. So if you compare Tiger's spine angle to yours, Tiger's has gone down in the downswing here compared to where he was at address, and your spine angle has actually sort of increased here, Iain, from your address position. So that's an area we would like to improve. But I really like the fact that you have got your head down a little bit from your address position, so you are using the ground well. And as I say, that leg action, very nice. Again, their impact, you can see your right foot rolling towards the target, not jumping out onto the toe, similar to Tiger again there. So excellent things in that swing, really like it. Very, very stable, very grounded, and that's going to allow you to have lots of consistency in your swinging. So excellent stuff there. And always nice to see some comparisons with someone like Tiger. But let's just pull in your more recent driver swing now, and just see if we can identify things that may have changed here in your swing. I guess in the 3 years between these two swings. Now, it's definitely not the same angle, so it's difficult to do these comparisons. It's a little bit dangerous, I guess. But what I was talking about before, about this curve in your upper back, or the sort of chest up look or chin up look that you've got here, it looks even more pronounced in this more recent video view, Iain. So definitely the same thing applies here as we mentioned before. You want to get your chin down, you want to feel that your chest is a bit more down and that your shoulders are a bit more rounded over the ball. At the moment you've got almost like a concave look to your back here, which is pushing your chest up, and that's not going to help you in your swing in terms of being powerful and being consistent. Let's just have a look at another thing that I just noticed when I was looking at this swing. Now, it looks as though you've got less leg flex in this more recent swing. I quite like the leg flex in this original video of yours here. It's pretty well balanced, that, so I'm quite happy with that leg position in that older swing. I'd just like to see, as I say, that chest just tilted forward a fraction more. If we just take these two, in fact, I'm just going to mark the head position here on these two as well, just so we can compare. I always like to use the head position as a good guide during the swing, because that tells us how much we're moving around during the swing. And we can see here in this first move in the more recent swing, you've backed away from that starting position a little bit there. That's definitely not really something you want to be doing in your swing too much. In this older swing, it's like you're rotating around a fixed axis in that older swing, and that's something you really want to maintain, because that's going to allow you just to fire that right side nice and simply in the downswing. No need for too many compensations or manipulations to get on the ball. It's just a very simple position. The one here on the right, the newer swing, it's your spine angle straightened in the backswing. You've backed away from that line, and your shoulders are much more level at this point, and you can see the result is your left arm's a lot higher than your right. Whereas in the older swing, the arms were more level at the halfway back point, and there was more tilt there in the shoulders, which is what you want to achieve. So just a couple of things that sort of changed over time there, which are just going to make the swing not quite as good, and the delivery through impact is not as good on the right here, which is quite interesting. So it looks a lot more inhibited here, and you're standing up very much in this more recent swing. You've backed away from this sort of original headline a bit more. So I guess the summary for you is make sure you get this spine nicely tilted forward over the ball, get that rounded look to the top of the shoulders, and get that chin down at address. And then in that takeaway, feel that head staying nice and centered, and you're just rotating around that fixed point as you were back in the I think 2007 clip, or the older clip anyhow. And that will really help you, I think, just achieve that consistency in your swing. And there's the one other thing that I noticed, which is probably connected to the previous points, but if we just look at your start down here, certainly in the newer swing, your hips are really driving in and under you in this sort of delivery position, and that's getting the club under plane there, which is going to lead to probably a push in this shot on the right here. On the left here you can see your left hip stays nicely out behind you, and that allows you to really just turn onto the ball, deliver the club nice and simply, and just a lovely simple passive release there on plane. Whereas on the right here, more complicated release, the club's going from in to out there, so probably a block on this right hand swing. So the feeling is you want to try and keep your backside out behind you as you start down in your swing, Iain. I'm just going to help you a little bit in your balance. So really good swing, really impressed, really enjoyed looking at it, Iain. We do have a side-on view of you. I haven't unfortunately got a decent face-on view, so it's difficult to draw too many conclusions from this this face-on swing. In fact, that one's not going to play for me, so I'll just drag this face-on in. Let's just clear these lines, have a little look at the face-on. Again, it's a good swing. If anything, the shoulders look a bit open on this one, actually, I noticed, but again, good turn off the ball, lovely position at the top there, lovely short arm swing. The arms are nicely in front of the body, so as you start down here they just drop beautifully in front of the body. Very simple downswing, that's exactly what you want to look for. Nice leg action, lovely delivery playing into the ball there. Just all good really, Iain. Very impressed, very good swing. Just those few points really just to have a think about, have a look at, and I think a good summer awaits you. So let me know if you've got any questions on those points. Good luck with your practice and the games coming up, and yeah, it'd be good to see how you get on.